Ladies and gentlemen, cats and kittens, boys and girls, I am Carbonor. Welcome to my channel. Hope all is warm and well in your world today. Welcome to the morning daily thingy as well. Things are pretty cool here. They're alright. Of course, we're doing a thumbnail. I'm push the mic a little closer, right? I seem to be kind of low volume in the last episode, it seemed like to me. Let's try to get that mic a little closer. A little bit closer. I mumble a lot. I don't mean to. I just do. I speak low sometimes. Almost done. So yeah, here we are. Morning daily thingy. Ah, fuck. See, that's that's the drawback to moving the microphone closer. If I fucking huff or fucking laugh or snort or fucking something like that, it goes against the fucking mic, and I don't like that either. It's give and take, I guess. Isn't that life in general? It's a give and take. All right, I got chat pulled up on my phone. We're ready to go as far as that goes. Now let's get this goddamn fucking thumbnail done. There's green in it, so right off the bat, that tells me it's gonna give me shit. Gonna be like, I don't know. That green's really heavy. Nope, that's not right. Hold on. Nope. So it's interesting. I haven't seen Spider-Man yet, but it has performed quite well. Has two bankable characters as far as comic book goes. I mean, there's two characters that are no matter what the fuck happens, you make a movie about those two characters, you're gonna make money. It's Spider-Man and Batman. Fucking for some reason, those are the two characters that fucking normies are just all over. So it's no surprise. People like Spider-Man. I do. I like Spider-Man as well. I don't like the MCU Spider-Man. I'm sure that comes as a shock to many of you. No way. No way. You? But yeah, I don't like it. I think they're trying to fix some of those problems now, but it's really too late. Like one of my biggest pet peeves about the MCU Spider-Man is that he's almost, I mean, his entire origin is so fucking directly tied to Tony Stark and fucking a high-tech suit, which is not Spider-Man. Like, it's not Spider-Man. yes, he's very smart and he deals with a whole lot of shit, but he's not like, you know, supposed to be a quantum level fucking genius and have an Iron Man style armor. I mean, that's Spider Man is OP to begin with. You know what I'm saying? You give him a suit of fucking Iron Man armor on top of that, and it's just like, what are you fucking doing? Why does he need a fucking suit of armor? Why does he need a fucking robot voice in his head to fucking track shit and fucking talk to him and stuff? He doesn't. He swings around the city, and his spider sense leads him to where he needs to be. That's pretty much it. But he's so fucking connected to Tony fucking Stark. And, you know, Zendaya, Miss Mary Jane, nope, nope. Just right off the bat, nope. Nope. But that goes back to Hollywood's obsession with replacing redheaded characters with black people. If you think I'm lying, Google it. If you think I'm lying, Google it. If there is one one kind of person that Hollywood is trying to erase, it is fucking redheads for some fucking reason. Seriously, I've seen the list. The list. It's hard to believe, but then you look at it and go, goddamn. But then I'm a fucking purist. I don't like if somebody wrote a book or wrote a comic book or a graphic novel or what the fuck ever, and they have a particular way people are supposed to look, then that's the way they're supposed to look. Period. And if you're not comfortable with that, then don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Jedi says, just got in from work. Same like yesterday. I may fall asleep again. LOL. That's fine, dude. Good morning to you. I hope they didn't work you too hard. But basically, I'm probably saying a whole lot of stuff that will end up in my review of Spider-Man when I go see it. And I intend to go, I'm going to see it this fucking weekend without fail. I know I'm 2 weeks late on it. That's not exactly striking while the iron is hot, but it is what it is. That being said, I should probably stop ranting for on it because I need something to be able to say for the review. Thumbnail's finished. I'm just getting it uploaded right now. See, I'm pretty sure also that if I was doing this with OBS or something like that, that I could be doing this while like my stream starting soon, like wallpaper is on the screen. I could be doing all this stuff. I'm pretty sure, but perhaps I'm wrong. I need to start saving up for a gaming laptop or a gaming computer. It's probably more reasonable to try to get a gaming laptop. Seems to me like an actual gaming computer with a tower and everything would be considerably more expensive. Although performance, I'm sure people would say, yeah, but, and there's always a yeah, but. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? There you are. And I gotta break this cycle with Sony, I guess. I mean, there's no reason not to. There really isn't. Physical copies, then what? Then why would I use your console, which overheats? Has anybody else noticed that now that the First Descendant fucking overheats your PlayStation now? I have to keep. I've got two fans pointed at that bitch when I play this now. Rick says yes. Yeah, yeah. I just assumed. Rick said I do. Yeah. Good morning to you, Rick. By the way, I saw some people talking about that in the chat the other day, and I was like, "Is that what it is? Is everybody experiencing this now?" And I guess so. But yeah, why would I stick with a console which can't even play a game without fucking overheating? Why wouldn't I just go, you know, get a fucking gaming setup, PC, fucking laptop, something that's not going to? I don't know. I'm just really upset about that. And they're dead serious about it too. There's not going to be any fucking public outcry that's going to make them change their decision on this. They're Rick says it's not a good sign, that's for sure. Exactly. They're going head first into this shit, and I feel like they don't realize how damaging that's going to be to their company. I don't think they're prepared for how many people just don't buy the next one. There's going to be a lot of people out there. There's going to be a lot of Sony whores out there, and I can't blame them. But I've been doing this shit for a long time. I've been hardcore for fucking Sony for forever. Mostly though, I'm going to be honest, it's the controller. Their controllers are just so much better than everybody else's. It's just a perfect design. PS5 is my last, says Rick. Yeah, it's probably going to be mine too. Probably about the only thing that I might do is buy another PS5 with a disc loader just to have as like a backup. That's probably about the best that they're going to get out of me. I'm just not interested in a fully digital fucking gaming environment. I'm just not interested in that. There's too much potential for them to fuck with shit. And I don't like that. If I pay money for something, I don't want you to change it later because suddenly you find something offensive. Rick says price going up again. Price for what?
Magisters are probably humanity's real home, don't you think?
I wouldn't be surprised. Rick says console. I wouldn't be surprised. Rick says I bought my PS5 just for Grand Theft Auto 6. I wouldn't have, otherwise I wouldn't have gotten one. I think there's probably a lot of people that feel that way. It is insane to me how fucking popular that game series is. And I have just never been interested in it at all. Just like with Halo, everybody's like, "Oh, Halo's awesome," and I'm like, I don't like it. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. They don't want you to own anything. They just want you to rent everything, so that you constantly have to pay them for stuff. If you go out and you buy a fucking game, that's a one-time payment and it's over and done with. But if you have to get a subscription to play that game, then that's a monthly fucking fee that you have there, constantly giving them more money and more money. And that's what they want. That's what they want the whole fucking industry to be. Rick says, I was a TFD fan. Was. Jedi says, well, I don't buy a disc anyhow, so I'm good. See, I do. If it's a game that I really want, and and it's available on disc, I buy it on disc. If it's something like like a PlayStation 2 game that you can't get physically for a PlayStation 5, then I'll buy it, for $20 or something like that. But if it's a game that I genuinely want and genuinely enjoy and and looking forward to, I'm gonna buy a physical copy of it. Like I've got. But it's sad that as each new console has come out, my collection of games for that particular console has lessened and lessened. And the PlayStation 4 is the first time that I started buying really games from the store, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't something that I did on the PS3. But because of the connection between PS4 and PS5 for your libraries, my actual game collection, like I've said, like I say at the end of every video, is almost 350 fucking games. But that includes the shit that I have physical. Like I've got the Stellar Blade, the latest Warhammer Space Marines game. I've got fucking all the wrestling games. When I buy those, I only buy those physical. I've got the entire Uncharted series, all kinds of shit like that. I've got the Batman games, the Tomb Raider games, Cyberpunk, the first Cyberpunk. I have a lot of physical games. Rex says, I don't play too many games. I've literally been I've been a gamer since they were invented. Rex says, I buy board games. You have mentioned that you're very new to the family? No. Community? The whole gaming thing. Let's do that. But yeah, literally, I think I've talked about this several times, that when I started playing video games, they weren't invented when I was born. They didn't exist. All we had was pinball machines and you could go like to bars and play like poker and shit like that on poker machines. But you told me about that too. Rick says, I bought a Marvel zombie board that was $700. That's insane. That's just crazy that they charge that much for a board game. unless they were like made out of solid gold and had like diamonds in them and shit like that. I don't blame her, Rick. I'm gonna be honest with you. Rick says my wife almost killed me. Like that's it's. I can see her point. Let me just say that I can see her point. Okay, we did this. We've accomplished this, everybody. Yay! Woohoo! We got some shit. What's there? Is there gonna be three again like this one? Rick says there was a Galactus that was as tall as a 5-year-old. Ah, okay. Still, I I have a pretty big Galactus in my toy collection, and I wouldn't have paid $700 for him. I don't talk about my toy collection very often. I need to get because because of stuff and reasons. I don't have like in where I live. I have an extra bedroom where I live in my place. It was all in. I bought everything. Lo, I hear you. I hear you. That I set up when I moved in to be my toy room, and I got like probably a third of the way through setting everything up, but you know, it just my desire to do so. It's like it was at a time that I was starting to lose interest in the MCU because it was no longer concerned about me as a comic book fan. It was now concerned about normal people for fandom. It was no longer reliant on the people who were like me, who had like fucking, thousands of fucking comic books and had been reading them their entire fucking lives. It was now about those people who are going to just, see their bullshit and fucking buy their stupid overpriced merchandise and not be like, oh, I don't know, I got all this other stuff that I got to buy too. I can't really afford that. And I'm not saying anything, but not not meaning anything by that. But that's exactly what they're looking for. They're looking for the people who would do that, and not who buys every book that comes out every month. For some reason that they don't deem as vital to them at this time than the people who will buy the magazines and the fucking shit just for just the promotional stuff just for whatever movie that they're coming out with. And I started to see that it was no longer about each character individually shining, and it was about how can we turn each character into the same character with just a different uniform on, which is what they essentially eventually did. There's no difference in any of their personalities. They're all the same. They all react the same. They all respond the same. They all have the same fucking smart little remarks. There's no difference between any of those characters that they put on those MCU movies other than the uniform that they're wearing. That's how you distinguish which one is which. I mean, it's interchangeable. There's supposed to be very specific traits to each one of these characters that they don't use because that's not fun, I guess, for the actors anymore. I guess after you've done this shit for like 15 years, you're supposed to be able to just do whatever the fuck you want with the character and not worry as much about trying to maintain a consistent, you know, identity. And one of the biggest examples of that is Thor. Is what they did with Thor is absolutely fucking. It offends me to the very center of my fucking being, that because Thor is not funny. Thor does not make jokes. That's not what he is. He is very simplistic. He speaks, you know, he says tis and thee and thy and shit like that because he's a fucking Norse god. He's not supposed to be cracking jokes. He's not supposed to be being funny. But I guess that's not marketable, and people didn't like that in the first two movies. So they decided, hey, Guardians of the Galaxy made all kinds of money. What if we just turn Thor into Star-Lord? What if, and by the way, what if we just made Captain America Star-Lord? And, oh, you know what? Black Widow should probably be Star-Lord too. And, yeah, Ant-Man needs to be Star-Lord. Yeah, everybody just needs to be Star-Lord now. And it's like, it was great for Star-Lord. It's fucking awesome for Star-Lord. Because, you know, that's essentially the character, I assume, as they rewrote it when they, you know, in one of the many relaunches of the Guardians of the Galaxy. The Star-Lord that I remember was not like that. He was much more stoic and much more heroic than, you know, as much of a fuck up and a lovable loser like the one that we got, which was fantastic. In my opinion, the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, I've said many times, is the best MCU movie. Jedi said, Supergirl is Star-Lord. Yeah, kinda, yeah. And Rick says, but Black Widow died. It's like, yeah, Black Widow died because she wanted out of the contract. It's because of James Gunn. Yeah, James. Yeah. You can pretty much fucking hang. James Gunn's DC universe is done. They're too far into productions for the next Superman movie to stop it now. But he's not going to be in charge of the DC universe any longer, especially after fucking Paramount buys Warner Brothers. After that happens, they're going to come in and be like, nah. That's where the rumors come from, because the owners of Paramount are really tight with Zack Snyder. And that's why Zack Snyder is kind of sneaking, you know, dropping little hints every once in a while that, you know, hey guys, guess who I'm friends with? You know what I'm saying? So there is a very distinct possibility that once that merger happens, once all the stupid, unnecessary, and completely futile legal battles end, and Paramount is finally allowed to buy Warner Brothers, James Gunn is done, and we'll probably see Zack Snyder take over the DC cinematic universe. That's probably what's going to happen. Yeah. Rick says, oh, I see. It makes sense. Jedi says, they took it from Zack and his movies were good. They were good. The problem that fucked up his movies was the involvement of the executives who kept wanting to make notes, and who kept wanting to change things, and because what they wanted at that time, Marvel had built up its individual heroes so that when they made Avengers, it was a big fucking deal, because they had all these movies prior to that, and all the build up all the way back from fucking Hulk. You know what I'm saying? So they had all this time to build up to the event that was the first Avengers movie. And what Warner Brothers wanted was, they wanted that immediately. They wanted Avengers immediately. They didn't want to come out with all these individual characters movies that might not do as well as some of the others before finally having a Justice League. They wanted it immediately. And they put way too much shit on him, and they kept fucking, well, you need to do this and you need to do that and you need to do this and you need to do that, and they wouldn't just let him make his goddamn movie. That was the problem with the whole thing. And as soon as he had an issue, a fucking personal fucking issue that he had to deal with, they fucking shit canned him and fucked it up even fucking worse. Now, I'm one of the few people that's a fan of the first Suicide Squad movie. I like it. I think, in my opinion, and you can say whatever you want, I think it's one of I think it's one of Will's best performances, in my opinion. I think Harley Quinn was done well. I think Jared Leto as the Joker surprisingly ended up being my favorite version of a cinematic live action Joker. He's the only one that ever made me uncomfortable. He's the only one that ever made me go, oh, this guy makes me feel unsafe. You know? But I would love to see what David Ayer intended that movie to be, instead of what it ended up being, which was a DC version of Guardians of the Galaxy. That was not what that movie was intended to be. That's why it feels so disjointed and jumpy in certain parts and disconnected, because they reshaped it and recut it to be this quirky team fucking almost comedy type movie. And that was not what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be much darker. It was, much more intense. And we didn't get to see that because Warner Brothers wanted it to be, we want a Guardians of the Galaxy. So can you turn this into Guardians of the Galaxy? No, not really, because it's, well, yeah, but we want you to turn this into a Guardians of the Galaxy. But yeah, you're gonna turn this into a Guardians of the Galaxy, and it flopped. Jedi says, agree. Rick says, not the Christopher Nolan Joker. Fuck no. Heath Ledger. Okay. There's a famous quote, and I can't remember what very old British actor said this, but he was working on a movie with Marlon Brando. Or not Marlon Brando, I'm sorry, excuse me, Robert De Niro. With Robert De Niro. And Robert De Niro had taken, he had gone without sleep for 3 or 4 days, and he was strung out, and he was all this shit, and the British actor was like, why are you doing this to yourself? And he's like, well, my character is at this point, he's supposed to be, yada yada yada, he's supposed to be fucking just, a wreck. And the British actor said, my boy, it's called acting. You know what I'm saying? As if you're supposed to act like you are a demented, psychotic fucking killer clown. You don't have to fucking drug yourself out. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go days and days and days and days and days without sleep and put yourself at fucking physical risk to play the Joker. If you do, you might not be a good actor, is all I'm saying. So all the praise that Heath Ledger ever got, it's like, it's not acting. He's probably barely able to fucking stand because he's on fucking pills and fucking, he hasn't slept in a month. You know what I'm saying? That's not acting. That's just not to mention that his whole version of the Joker All he did was walk around and go chewing on his fucking lips all the fucking time. Fucking Jared Leto's version goes from fucking so charming and so smooth and so fucking manipulative right to fucking psychotic in the blink of a fucking eye. And that is infinitely scarier to me. That he can be so fucking warm and open and oh yeah, we're having a good time, and then the next fucking second, you're dead. That's the Joker. That's the character. Not this fucking grumpy fucking whatever the fuck Heath Ledger played. Not to mention that the Christopher Nolan Batman movies to begin with are garbage. They're fucking dog shit. It's like how can you fucking put somebody in charge of making something who hates what he's making, who literally hates what he's making to the point that he's like, it's not going to have anything fancy in it. Nobody's going to go by code names. Nobody's going to have any, and it's like, then why are you doing this? Christopher Nolan, as a director, why the fuck are you making a Batman movie if you fucking hate comic books? What in your goddamn brain said, hey, I feel like making a Batman movie? Why? Why? Rick says, I feel like he was just a thug or gangster. Who, the one, Jared Leto? It made no sense to me. Why you would decide, hey, I'm gonna make a Superman movie, but I'm not gonna put him in a suit. He's not gonna fly. He's not gonna have any powers. He's just gonna be Clark Kent. Yeah, that's what it's gonna be. He's just and we're not gonna call him that because that's dumb. Rick says, new perspective. New you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't make a new perspective on Batman because Batman exists in a universe where Superman exists, where Wonder Woman exists. This is it. If you see the movie Batman and you go look up more stuff on Batman, you're going to find all of these other characters in the universe that he resides in, because that's where he is. You cannot pull Batman out of DC Comics and be like, yeah, we're just going to shit can the rest of it, because it makes no goddamn sense in a world without all that other stuff. That a dude would put on a fucking suit and a cape and a bat mask and wear a symbol on his chest and throw little knives that look like fucking bat wings at people and drive a car that he calls the Batmobile. That makes no fucking sense in a world where Superman and Wonder Woman and Aquaman and Green Lantern don't exist. It makes no sense. Because in a world without all that other stuff, he's in the real world. And in the real world, they would shut that shit down faster than you can fucking believe. They would bring in they would bring in the goddamn army on that motherfucker. They would, as soon as he fucking took to the goddamn fucking roofs in his Batmobile, there would be a fucking Black Hawk fucking helicopter fucking blowing him the fuck up. They would shut that shit down in the real world. Period. There's no amount of billions of fucking dollars that you could come up with that would keep them from finding your fucking ass and putting you in prison for the rest of your goddamn life. There is no world where that would not fucking happen, where it would not be on the news, nation fucking wide, world fucking wide, every goddamn night. There is no world where there wouldn't be everybody and their brother with their cell phones fucking trying to catch any fucking glimpse or any kind of clue. It would be all over the fucking internet. Yeah, he'd have supporters, but there would be people hunting him 24 fucking 7. It would be their only job as a government fucking agent would be to find this motherfucker. They would have the FBI on him. I'm telling you. And that I am yeah, I know. Rex says, Mr. C, you're very passionate. I am. It's because I know what I'm saying is not bullshit. You know? Because these are things and discussions that people like me have had. You know, I'm 51 years old. They're 52. Am I 52? No, I'm 51. Right. I'm 51. The I decades of these kind of conversations have comic book fans had, not just with each other, but with people in the industry as well. You know, long before there was an internet. You know what I'm saying? It's people made these connections with each other, and it was that passion that you just mentioned for these universes, these IPs, these franchises that brought them together and made them feel like they weren't alone. You know what I'm saying? The entire reason that I probably obviously they're, they're wearing the costumes and the bright colors and it's good versus evil, and what little boy doesn't fucking want to be Luke Skywalker or fucking Spider-Man or fucking Superman or fucking Batman? What little boy doesn't want to be the one that saves the fucking day and saves the fucking world? That's what every little boy fucking wants to be. They want to be heroes. And you can't be a hero in this world. Not in that way. You can't do to evil what you can do to in the real world, what you can do to evil in a comic book as a superhero, which is just go beat the shit out of it until it stops. That has always appealed to me. You know, because that's what I want to do when I see something wrong. I want to go beat the shit out of it until it stops. You know, and that goes from every aspect of everything that I fucking I witness or I fucking live through. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, that politician's doing what now? Go beat the shit out of him until it stops. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that news anchor is lying. How? Oh, okay, well, go beat the shit out of him until it stops. I'm very, if, oh my God. You don't know what a perfect world it would be if somebody gave me absolute power for one day, 24 hours, one day, absolute power. You don't know what a perfect world would exist after that 24 hours. But that 24 hours would be really fucking messy. Really fucking messy. But yeah, I'm very passionate about this shit because it's, it's the world that I grew up in. I ignored reality, and I lived in the DC and the Marvel universes. I lived in Star Wars. I lived in Thundercats. I lived in He-Man. I lived in fucking G.I. Joe, Transformers. Those were the things that I fucking cared about. Those were the things that meant something to me, that shaped who I was as a person, that fucking taught me what morals were, taught me what good was, taught me what evil was, taught me, about sacrifice, taught me about responsibility. That's where I learned all my shit. I didn't learn shit from my dad. I didn't learn shit from my mom. I learned everything by watching heroes and reading about heroes. That's where I learned. Rick said I had to study when I was a kid. I was lucky to be smart enough that I could put in zero effort and make C's and B's, and I just coasted through school. If I had actually applied myself in school, Jesus Christ, who knows where the fuck I'd be right now. But I did not give a fuck about it. I was just like, I don't care. What's the bare minimum that I need to do to get the fuck out of this place? That's what I'm going to give you. Rick says, my parents are strict. My parents were not strict. My sister was such a mess before me that she wore them out. By the time I came along, they were very hands off with me. They were just tired. So I pretty much raised myself. I taught myself how to fucking write, read, you name it. By the time I was in fucking first grade, I was already writing cursive. I was already writing cursive. I would bring my stuffed animal to school and I would set it in the empty desk sitting next to mine and put a little pencil in his hand and a paper on his thing and on his desk when we were learning how to print letters, and I would print them on mine and I'd walk over to my stuffed animal and print them on theirs. They actually sent a note home to my parents complaining because I was writing in cursive in first grade, and they were like, he keeps writing in cursive, and my parents were like, is he doing the assignment? And they were like, well, yeah. And they were like, well, what the fuck are you complaining about then? Rick said, I had to study when I was a kid. No time for those. My parents are strict. I had a Nintendo when I was 5, but not really get to play it. PlayStation 5 was when I really got to play. That's crazy, dude. That's some pretty strict family. No, Jesus Christ, I had, like I said, they didn't exist when I was born, so I had every console that has ever been made when it first comes out. I mean, up to a point. I had a fucking Atari. I had the Atari 2600. I had the Activision. I had the fucking the first Nintendo. I had Nintendo 64. I had fucking the Super Nintendo. I had fucking the oh shit, what was it? Not the Dreamcast. It was the one Genesis. I had the Sega Genesis. And the second version of that, I can't remember what it was called. I'm pretty sure there was a second version of that. They eventually made the Dreamcast, which everybody was crazy about, but I was just like, I don't care. By then, I was already a Sony whore. Then at some point, I took a break from gaming for a few years and was lured back in with Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation. And I pretty much commandeered my friend's PlayStation and his Final Fantasy discs, and that was pretty much all there was to that. I just kind of ended up taking it to my room, and that's where it stayed. It was kind of funny, but yeah, I thinking back on that, yeah, I did pretty much just steal his PlayStation. And he didn't really say shit about it, and I was just like, all right. It was funny. But yeah, I've had every fucking just about. I don't, except for Xbox. I don't like Xbox. I never liked Xbox. They never had anything that appealed to me but Gears of War. That was the only thing that they ever had that I was like, ooh, that looks cool. No, it wasn't. Rick says because you'll beat him up. No, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. He just didn't care. And when I saw that he didn't care, that was when I was like, okay, I guess this is mine now. Yeah, dude, that fucking Jedi says the controller made me not like Xbox. Yeah, dude, that controller is I don't that is it's just a fucking hunk of plastic in your guy, just an enormous fucking hunk of plastic. And I would hold it when I would go over to friends' houses and be like, "You can barely reach the fucking buttons with your goddamn thumbs on these fucking things. What? Who designed this?" It's like they intentionally were like, I'm sorry, Sony, when they created their first PlayStation controller, they got it right. I don't care what you say. When Sony made the first PlayStation controller, every fucking controller from that point should have just been that, because it was perfect. Oh no, my hands aren't small at all. That's how big that goddamn controller is. It's not. It's just not. It's not. I mean, at least the original one. I haven't played one in a long time, but the original one, it was just it. The layout of it was almost like it was intentionally trying to be different than the PlayStation, and it's just like the PlayStation. It's just perfect. It just fits in your hand so fucking perfect. It's just everything is so user friendly. It's just fucking perfect. And that Xbox thing, it was just like, for one thing, it weighs like 5 pounds. I'm exaggerating, but not really. The Xbox console itself is the original one. Jesus Christ, it heavy. Oh, does she? Rick says my niece uses the Xbox to play TFD. God, all I've done is yap this episode. But I enjoy this. I enjoy the banter and the back and forth. You know, it doesn't always have to be about playing a game. Jenna said I played She's and the PS controller was close to it. Oh, okay. So I followed Sony. Ah, okay. Rick said, "Well, she played TFD with me when she visited." Yeah, you told me she plays dress up with your alternate account. Ah, okay. Jenna said I played SNES and damn autocorrect. Ah, okay, okay. I was like, what?
Humanity is very weak. That's why humans need us so desperately.
Back up. This will be number 30. Happy to have those piling back up. Okay. I guess I should do something. I just been ranting and raving today. Well, I need to kill 400 people with Blair. So we'll go ahead and do that. But yeah, yeah.
This is Hound Actual to all personnel. Void storm is intensifying. Conditions are unfavorable. Proceed with caution. Over.
Specialized Vulcan aircraft detected. That aircraft is used to fly through void storms. It must be shot down.
I'll get to it. I'm gonna have fun with some of these guys for a minute first. Watch them pop like popcorn. Guess that's all of them. Well, that's sad. Wonder if those people sitting in that ship are like, oh God, is he going to throw one at us? Can we just go? Can we just leave? No, can't. What?
Arcane life sign
Say something?
detected inside a Vulcan structure.
Descendant, confirm arrival at the operation zone. Proceed with caution. Zone initiated. Good work, Descendant.
How are we looking on the fire? Oh, shit. All right. One more mission with Blair. And I believe we will have the 100,000 to finish that up. Oh shit. Oh, I thought it was. I thought the. I was like, oh, is it time for the wall crusher? It is not time for wall crusher. It is not, in fact. In fact, time. All right, we got the fire. Chill, fire, and toxic. Which one do we focus on next? We're closest to this one. Melee. So we might have to do some melee. Oh, I had thought ahead and brought the bag of potato chips into my bedroom with me, and indeed I did. Mm. That was great. Oh no! Not cool. Are you shitting me? Fucker. Ninja nail. Sorry. Had a mouthful of potato chip. Huh. Getting there. I only have a little over a week though, so I don't think I'm going to make it. I don't think. I think largely I've pretty much beaten what I've beaten. I can't believe that I haven't gotten more than that though. That's kind of crazy. But there is a week left, so there's I don't know. I play a lot. I play a lot. And everything I play is on hard, so I don't understand why that one. Jesus Christ. I'm only at level 4 on that one. That's fucking nuts. But what do we need? Wire copper. Okay. I might be able to knock both those out at one time. I might just. All right. Time for Viessa. Time for Viessa. Oh, Colossus. Shit. Armor up. Let's go fuck up a wall crusher. Malicious peaches. Okay. Them some bad peaches.
Formation signal in the skies nearby. All of us nearby seem to have spotted it as well. Remove them quickly. The mutant's materials will be lost if you're not quick enough. nearby seem to have spotted it as well. Remove them quickly. Lost if you're not quick enough.
Super Cherokee. Minute and a half. Be over before you know it. Could be quite literally. Could be over in a matter of seconds, because sometimes it is. I believe I might have to make a sandwich after the stream. I'm feeling a little peckish. whatever. Ooh. Quite a bit better than average. Not bad. Wait.
Descendant, a large cluster of breach creatures has been detected in the area. Colony of breach creatures spotted inside the operation.
Oh yay, somebody's coming to help. Hurrah. I always like help. Yay.
Descendant, Volga's comms traffic is increasing at your location. It looks like Legion of Breach troops have been deployed. Volga's special assault ship identified. Primary tactical objective confirmed. Search and destroy required.
Well, we're gonna have to load up Reyna, it would seem.
Descendant has been waiting for you. Our soldiers have suffered extensive casualties while holding off the enemy onslaught. These resources were seized from the enemy fortress. They must be transported safely to Albion.
Shit, I was muted there. Sorry. I had turned around to do something real quick and muted it. Got to unmute it.
Watch your feet. Melt away. Watch your feet. Melt away. This is your grave.
Any more soldiers for the time being. Thank you, Descendant. You're a lifesaver.
Oh, so close. So fucking close. Alright, I guess we will do the fucking void vessel. No! There we go. Jesus Christ.
Launching void vessel exploration operation.
That was weird. Huh. that the... Who is that? Bunny. Bunny. Is that two exact Balbies? Standing right on top of each other? It is, isn't it? That's kind of trippy. Look at that. That's fucking weird. What are the odds? The two people with the exact same colored outfit. I mean, I guess that's the base outfit, so I guess that's not that far odd, but still, that's pretty cool. Pretty weird. Oh, I think I'm gonna call it early today, guys. That's all right with y'all. I think I'm gonna call it early. Go grab me a bite to eat before bed. I ate directly like after work. Normally I don't, but I got fast food, so I'm fucking hungry again. Fucking hungry. So thank you everybody for being here today. Jedi, Rick, gentlemen, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure seeing y'all come around. For those of you who were lurking today, thank you. I know you were out there. I can see the numbers going up and down. You cannot hide from me. You cannot hide, even though you try to be quiet. I know you're there. So thank you. And for those of you who are watching this as a video later, thank you for making it this far into the video. You are as appreciated as anyone. Should any of you groups of people that I just mentioned saw something here that you were entertained by, maybe made you laugh or chuckle, or maybe you enjoyed watching the devastation and destruction brought upon by women in stockings and, you know, lingerie, whatever floats your boat. Maybe you could see your way clear to leaving me a like, a comment, a share, or a subscribe. Okay. I think she knows she's on TV. But any one of those things is immensely helpful for the channel. Helps it grow and flourish. Helps get me out there into that algorithm and pushed in front of people who might be interested in what I'm doing. And that's beneficial to everybody involved, if you ask me. Subscriptions, though, are particularly important right now, as I am 43 away from the 500 necessary to unlock super chats and memberships. So anything you can do to help out and get us a step closer in that regard would be pretty awesome. It's been a goal of the channel for a while now, and we're slowly getting there, but you know, a little help wouldn't hurt. Huh. Also, should you choose to support the channel in a different way, you will find links to my Patreon and my Ko-fi on my YouTube description page. If you saw something here you think might be worth $1 or $2, that would be the place to drop it. And it too would be immensely appreciated. While you're at all that, check out the rest of the shit on my channel. I have got over 1,600. Yes, that's what I said. Over 1,600 videos to entertain your eyeballs. I've got, I mean, you just wouldn't believe it. I've got concerts that I've been to. I've got original music that I write the lyrics to and give life through an AI app in the form of a 4-piece all-girl metal band called The Circle. You'll find 10 albums on my channel right now of music that I'm very proud of, what I've been able to accomplish. They're about 12 songs a piece, about 30 minutes a piece. Not a huge investment in your time. You give one a try, you never know, you may dig it. And you can also find the lovely ladies of The Circle every Wednesday night on Wicked Wednesday. Okay, hold on. I'm tired of fighting that yawn. Okay. It was trying to sneak up every time I said something. Every word I said, it was like, it's like, fuck it, just get it over with. But you can find the lovely ladies at the Circle every Wednesday night on Wicked Wednesday Night. That is the female division of my original character Simulated Wrestling Federation. The men's division is every Monday for Monday Night Mania. And then I also have a female celebrity federation. It's every Tuesday. That's Tuesday Night Download. I've got some other things in the wings, working on them. So they'll be out when they're out. So keep an eye out for that stuff. On top of all that, I do these daily live streams like you saw right here today. Except for Sundays and Mondays between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. ish, where I play this wonderful game that we all love so much, the First Descendant. Sometimes chat joins in and we take on some of the harder missions, and or maybe just go farming for materials. Sometimes they're here to give me advice, and sometimes they're here to give me shit. But regardless, a fun time is had by all, and we would absolutely love for you to be a part of it. We've developed a really cool community of some solid dudes who show up on a fairly regular basis, and like I said, we'd love for you to be a part of it. So if you see us pop up in your feed, don't hesitate to stop on by and say hey. Join in the fun. Like I said, we'd love to have you. Also, every Friday between 8 and 11, it's Fall Guys Fortnite Friday, where I play Fall Guys in Fortnite. And much like with this game, I'm totally open to playing with chat, but only if you want to duo, trio, or squad up against the general public. I just don't have the participation at that time to justify custom matches, and one-on-ones are boring as fuck. They just are. They just are. Also, and on top of that, oh my god, I've got a shitload of playthroughs, all kinds of genres, all kinds of titles, horror, action, adventure, racing, roguelite, walking simulators, gotcha games. I'm down to play just about anything, and I have a massive library of almost 350 games that I have played precious little of. So if there's something out there that you would like to see me play, there's a pretty good chance it could be in my library, so just throw it in the comments. I'll check. If it's in there, bam, gets bumped up to the top of the list to be rotated in after I complete the next one. It is just that easy. You have impact and influence on the content produced by this channel. All you got to do is say something. Or you just be like, hey, I'd like to see you play this. I'd like to see how you handle it. Okay, cool. Oh, look, I happen to have it. Bam, it's happening. It's that easy. It's that easy. And because I know you need more carbon ore in your life. And who doesn't? I mean, seriously. I'm also doing movie reviews now. I got a handful up at the moment. More on the way. As I go see stuff that comes out that it falls within my particular wheelhouse of interests. I'll be making, a review of. Why not? So there's that too. So there's all kinds of shit. You see what I'm saying? There's all kinds of stuff. So check it out. And I guess, ladies and gentlemen, cats and kittens, boys and girls, that just leaves me to say thank you once again. You guys are the shit. I love you. Thank you so much for all your support and being here. It's as much as you can be. It means the world to me. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so very much. And until next time, later.